Okay, welcome back. So in the last section, we saw the syntax to add a single route to an Express app. Our app has one URL that you can request to get a response. Everything else, we get that error message that says cannot get, and then whatever you tried to get, whatever you tried to request. So we'll try fixing that now. We're going to add some more routes. So the first one we'll do is going to be silly. It's a joke route. When you go to /joke, it just gives you a joke. Rather than just doing hello or hi or goodbye, we're doing a joke. So when we request from a computer or from a phone even to our URL, and then we have our Express app that we're requesting, this time our request is, hey, I would like the /joke page. So that's like this. Rather than just hitting enter here, we would go to /joke. And yeah, you're usually not, typing these URLs manually, you're clicking on links. So maybe there would be a link that takes us to /joke. Just as there are links down here, this is an error page for Cloud9, but there are links. Each one takes us to, this one is c9.io/support. If you can see that in the bottom left, very tiny. Here, you can see /support. So there's code that is listening, that's taking this /support, and it's figuring out, oh, we need to show the support page, the need help, all these buttons on support. Anyways, so we're going to ask for /joke. Our Express app is going to say, sure thing, here you go, and send back a really stupid joke. What do you call a dog that does magic tricks? A labracadabrador. I had to pick something that is politically neutral. It's not going to offend anybody. So we're just going with labracadabrador. So to implement that, it's very similar to what we've done. We just basically duplicate the code we have, except we change the route, the string of what we're trying to match. So basically in our app.js file, we'll have two questions, which are pseudocode. The first one is, did the client request /? That's what we already have. If they did, respond with welcome to the homepage. Then we'll also have, did the client request /joke? And if they did, respond with knock knock. So only one of these is going to run every request, because you can't send a request that is simultaneously to / and /joke. So we get one response depending on what we request. So without further ado, this is all we have to do. I apologize, it's kind of long because the joke is long. Otherwise, the code is pretty short. app.get /joke function, request response. And then in here, we just have a joke variable equal to our dumb joke. And then we're doing a res.send joke. So if we compare that over here to our existing route, it's very, very similar. So we'll get used to typing app.get. Yeah, that was just terrible, but you do it a lot. App.get, and then we'll do joke. And that's just something I picked arbitrarily, right, to have a joke route. When we're actually working with our app, we'll talk about the route we need for join us. But for now, we're working with /joke. Request and response. Once again, we can call these whatever we want, but rec and res is pretty standard. Then in here, I'm just going to copy the joke. I don't want to make you watch me type that. All right, so we have that. And what we can do is the same thing we did earlier, console.log requested the joke route. Quick quiz. What will happen when I run node app.js? Well, when I just run it, nothing will happen unless we had an error. But what will happen when I make a request to /joke? And the easiest way to do that is if I do preview running application. And if I change this to /joke here, or I could go over here and do it in a separate window. But if I do /joke and I hit enter, what do you think will happen? It just keeps spinning and spinning. We get requested the joke route, which is what we wanted. We console.logged. That means this route is being hit, and we're running this code. But now over here, it's still spinning and spinning. And eventually, it will stop, and it will give us an error message saying cannot get /joke. Basically, that's saying, I tried, we waited and waited and waited, but there was no response from this server. So the server received it, we did something, but we never sent anything back because we're missing res.send. So very simple remedy. We can have this console.log if we want it, but it served its purpose. Now let's do a res.send, and all we want to send is the joke. Okay, so I'm going to stop this one. Well, actually, I'll just restart the server, and that will kill it immediately. Now I'll do node app.js again, make this bigger. If I can get it, go to /joke, and I hit enter. And now I get this hilarious joke we've never heard before. What do you call a dog that does magic tricks? A labracadabrador. It's pretty good. Pretty good, whoever came up with that one. And that's it. We have our 2 routes now. So we could toggle between them. Whoa, eBay. I don't know where that came from. Here we go. So I've got the home route, / the root route, or /joke. And that's it. So really the point here is just to show you can have 2 routes, and usually applications have a ton of routes, 10, 20, depending on how complex the application is. Something like Cloud9 or Udemy might have 50 or 100 different things. Well, 100's extreme, but there's a lot of different routes. To wrap up, let's add one last route. This one is a little different. What it will do is return a random number, randomly generated. So it's not going to be hard coded in like you've reached the home page, or what do you call it? A dog that does magic tricks, a labracadabrador, haha, very funny joke. Rather than that, it's going to be dynamically generated. But everything else is the same. So it's app.get / and we're doing random num or number, either one. I did num in the notes, comma function request and response again. So whatever's in here will only be executed whenever someone requests / random num. So we'll do our app.send, or res.send. And let's just start by just hard coding a number like 7. I'll do it as a string just to be safe. If we restart the server now, go over here, joke still works, home still works, but now we have random _ num, and I get the number 7. So now all that's left is to generate a random number. And the way we do it in JavaScript is kind of obnoxious. It's much easier in other languages. So there is a math.random. And what this will do, I'll actually just show you right now. If I copy it over, I'm going to stop the server. I'm going to open just regular Node, which is not something I've shown you, but Node has, just like MySQL has a CLI where we can type things and get a response immediately. You can do 1 + 1 and get 2. Node has the same thing. If you just type Node without a file name, then it opens up a Node shell. So if I do math.random and I don't capitalize that R, now I do math.random, notice that it gives me a random number between 0 and 1. It's really annoying that it does it this way, in my opinion. So if we want, let's say, something between 1 and 10, there's a couple of steps involved. We need to generate our math.random. We need to multiply it by 10, so we'll start with that. Okay, so now we're getting 1.7, 7.4, 8.6. Then what we need to do is get rid of that decimal. So you can either round. What's more standard is to do a math.floor. So what that will do is just chop off the decimals. So we end up with 8, 9, 8, 2. But then we have a problem, which is we never actually hit 10. We're doing a number between 0 and 9, which you'll just have to trust me, that's how it works. But you can see we have 0 here. And it's because when we did our original math.random, this is a number between 0 and 1, not including 1. So up to 0.99999. So all we want to do is then shift it by 1. So it's kind of a lot of work to generate a random number between 1 and 10. But now we've got it. Just to prove, okay, there's a 10, we're in the clear. So now we'll just make that a variable. We'll just call it x maybe, equals, well, maybe num is a better name, make it a little clearer. And then we'll just send it back. We'll say and I think I said lucky number is plus num. And that will just concatenate it in there. Let's try it. So to get out of Node, we just do Control-C twice. Now we actually execute our app.js. Now if I go to random num, it says my lucky number is 3. Now it's 10, now it's 8, 8 again, 4. You get the picture. And of course we still have our home route and our refreshingly adorable and hilarious labracadabrador joke. Okay, we're done here. Moving on in our next video to actually integrating MySQL with this web app. Big step.